Basically, we put together several stories that were really focusing on, really closely on the geographic area of Ann Arbor itself. And we talked to a number of different agencies.
Show any maps?
We did. We showed different maps and we different lists kind of showing the different income levels that make up, how you qualify for assistance. We had a number of different tables that showed statistics. And we talked to a number of different agencies kind of talking about the issue kind of from the 20,000 feet view. And then we kind of went around to different agencies, and we were kind of pointed in the right direction of how do we talk to real people who can talk about what it's really like to live in Ann Arbor when you've got a low income, because those are kind of the people who are going to put the face with the story and kind of make you think about how this truly is impacting people. So, I mean, obviously that took a lot of work trying to weave all of that together.
And how did you tell those people's stories?
What do you
You've
mean?
got information, you've got words on a screen,
Yes.
on a piece of paper. What else do you have? If I'm the reader, what did I get from you guys?
You got videos from a number of subjects. So we did have a few short interviews on video, and we plan on having more with our future pieces. And you kind of got the framework for what the issue is, and that's really what we were setting out to do, is a framework of the issue. And so you were really receiving a lot of statistics. You were receiving a lot of experts kind of laying out what's going on in Ann Arbor. You may have, 1 in 4 people in Ann Arbor may be living technically in poverty, but 70% of those people who are in poverty are likely in school and are, getting a credit card from their parents to pay for rent. So we were kind of defining the issue, okay, but you still have this population, that 30% who are living under the federal poverty guidelines. And so we were able to describe what are the resources in the area in text. We were able to give a list of links to many of those resources, which we posted online in conjunction with the stories. And then we were able to go and we went and talked to individuals and said, okay, what resources do you use? How do you live on a low income in Ann Arbor? What are some of the coping mechanisms you use? For instance, what sort of things do you use to stretch your budget? What's your life experience like? And we told that in the form of a feature story. And we had several of these stories where the meat of it would be the statistics, but really we had the feature story, and we had one particular story that was all just based on this one woman's experience being a single mother in Ann Arbor and living in public housing and what that was like for her. And so basically we kind of laid out the framework of what the issue is, and now we're going to be going forward in a series of stories looking at, if you are living on a low income, how would you struggle to get different resources like food, housing, how would you pay for health care, looking at each one of these issues individually, about month by month. The reason I was really interested in it, the reason David and I started working on that story came from both of our interests and our beats. I thought, what's really interesting to me is, how does somebody worry about their health and well-being when it comes to, like eating a healthy diet, if they're just worried about getting food in the first place. I mean, if you're worrying about your hierarchy, if you're thinking about the hierarchy of needs and the needs on the lower end of the spectrum, how the heck are you supposed to even care about that? You're not. You're just not. You're going to eat what you can afford, whether or not that's the healthiest thing, because you're worried about eating quickly and just getting food to begin with, or making sure that your kids eat something so that you can, worry about getting them to bed and going to your job the next day, So that's where I was coming from with it. And I know David, because of his experience reporting on the education beat over at the Ann Arbor News and then coming over to AnnArbor.com as well, we just started talking one day about, sort of his interests and looking at, how do low-income kids really perform in school, and the graduation rates, their school test rates are just much lower than the average student, and so that was something that really interested him as well. How we started working on this.
It was a good project. Sounds like maybe an ongoing project.
Yes.
What you're saying?
Yeah. We didn't just want to kind of parachute in and then
Right.
jump back out. We kind of really wanted to
Any idea how long you'll be working on this project till the story sort of runs out?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking it'll probably be about 8 months, but just kind of depends on where it takes us. But we do
Right.
have a number of different. I mean, we really. I think we did leave it a little bit open-ended, so I'm guessing it's gonna be about 8 months. But we really laid out a framework of there were very specific issues we wanted to hit. We first wanted to set out the framework, and then we wanted to hit food. We wanted housing, healthcare, education, jobs, transportation. Did I say that one? But we wanted to hit each one of these different categories because each one of these resources ties into everything else, and
Right.
a person's ultimate success